When Austin built its last central library in the 1970s, its biggest concern was where to put the books. Now they have to worry about this technology and the technology to come.
Over the Edge Austin raises money for Make-A-Wish Foundation of Central Texas. The first 200 participants to raise $1,500, they get to rappel 38 stories down this building. Members of Austin Interfaith came here to City Hall today to talk to City Council about the poverty and homelessness they see every day. There are over 120 shops here in downtown Austin, many of them calling 2nd Street home, but just 6 years ago, only a third of them were in business. The racetrack is quiet now and the winner's circle is empty, but you can hear the engine start to roar right around 2 p.m. tomorrow. 15,000 people live downtown and no one has a front yard. Republic Square Park is their only green space. Austin city leaders say they're cutting your tax rates, but at the end of the year, you'll still be paying more because of Austin's rising home values. Amy Campbell and her 2 daughters love to get down to the sounds of a band they're not used to hearing, even in the live music capital of the world.
It's just more Austin than anything, even if bands are from somewhere else.
But Honk, Texas showcases bands cut from a different cloth that might look like it's straight out of the zombie apocalypse, like the Dead Music Capital Band.
We weren't finding a lot of local brass bands that weren't attached to schools and that sort of thing, so I started twisting arms and dug up horn players and put together the Dead Music Capital Band.
Created in Somerville, Massachusetts, Honk is now in 5 cities across the country. Some bands color coordinate, each have themes, and a couple wear their everyday work clothes, like the Biohazard Brass Band. Active duty military servicemen from San Antonio make up this group. The weekend concert series is free and friendly for all ages.
Everything that we do here at Honk, Texas, it's unamplified. There's no stages, no PAs. It's just a human-powered music festival. Now, brass instruments may not be the first thing that comes to mind in your idea of a band, but it sure has taken over Adams Park here in Central Austin.
Yeah, it's super inspiring to get to see different instruments than just guitar, drums, bass.
Campbell brings her daughters back every year to see their favorite, the Zombie Band. Senator Wendy Davis was in Austin to talk about education reform today, and while she didn't kiss any babies, she took quite a few selfies. The gubernatorial hopeful was at the Texas State Teachers Association to talk about appointed Greg Abbott's current pre-K plan, which recommends adding benchmark exams to curriculum.
I think it's time that we have, once again, voices that care about the priorities that really matter to people all over this state, most particularly our children and their future. And that's why we're all here today.
Fellow Senators Donna Howard, Kirk Watson, and Jose Rodriguez were also on hand to show their support for Davis. All 4 of the legislators were active in education reform bills this summer during special sessions.
There's broad agreement across party lines that our schools can and must do more than simply prepare our students to fill in bubbles.
Abbott's plan says the test would increase the state's transparency and accountability in education spending. A visit to Republic Square Park is on Katie and Zavi Samoy's schedule almost every day. They live just a few blocks away downtown. Mom goes running on Town Lake until little Zavi is ready to stretch his legs and play with the birds.
It's a green space for him to be able to walk around and play, and as 17 months old, he's fascinated with the birds and the buses and the trucks and all the things that go by.
Neighbored by high-rises in the county's new courthouse, Republic Square Park is one of Austin's last remaining urban parks. The park hasn't been touched since 1965. Now, the city wants to spruce it up. Austin Parks Foundation President Daniel Woodruff says the restoration will help anchor this urban neighborhood and its visitors.
The deck here is a great representation of building things for the long term, a sense of longevity and quality, but also acknowledging the environmental constraints of where we live and building something that can be really used and maintained for the long term.
15,000 people live downtown and no one has a front yard. Republic Square Park is their only green space.
I would hate to see it be anything but green space.
The city plans on upgrading the lighting and reconstructing the walk paths, but Zavi and Katie aren't complaining.
It's meeting our needs, so we're pretty happy.
Whether enjoying lunch, playing with Fido, or maybe even doing some yoga,
Woodruff says they just want Austinites to continue to enjoy the park they love. In downtown Austin, Eleanor Holmes, Time Warner Cable News.